I think my absolute favorite dish would have to be a big old beefy burger. It reminds me of sitting in the backyard with family and friends enjoying the beautiful weather that we have here in Victoria.
Our guest is University of Victoria B-Ball alumni who also played for Canada's Olympic team, and my buddy Eric Hinrichsen. Today, we're preparing the B-Ball burger. Fresh ground beef, stuffed with aged cheddar, served on a pretzel bun with wilted onions, tomato jam, and spicy arugula. We're making his dish my way. I'm Garrett Schack, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Today we have Olympian, University Basketball Rookie of the Year, and all-around tall guy, my friend Eric Hinrichsen. How you doing, Eric?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
How's the weather up there?
It's the same as down there, man. Come on.
Well, down here we're working on the B-Ball burger, okay? We're gonna do fresh ground beef burgers stuffed with aged cheddar on a pretzel bun, wilted onions, spicy arugula, and a tomato jam. How's that sound?
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's not your average backyard burger, but it'll be delicious.
I hope so.
So first thing we need to do is we're going to grind the meat. So I want to ensure that our guests out there, our viewers out there know how important it is to maintain temperatures of the product here, including our meat grinder. So that meat grinder is hiding in the freezer right now. I'm going to go back and grab that and the meat, and then I'll probably get you to do most of the grinding here.
Perfect. I need a workout.
Well, yeah, and you got those big pipes, you know, you got to show them off a little bit. All right, so here's our ground meat. We'll talk about that in a second. And like I said, we kept the grinder in the freezer because everything has to be ice cold.
So I was going to say, is that so that the meat comes out smooth, or
that's so the meat comes out chilled. We want to keep all the temperatures nice and as cold as possible. Okay? So we're just going to tuck this on here.
Where'd you get this grinder?
That's such a funny story. I wanted to, I was actually going to say, like, well, I was a relic from my grandmother, and we used to grind burgers all the time. But then I was at the local thrift store, and a viewer actually recognized me and was like, oh, hey, that's the guy from Cooking on the Coast. So I totally got busted buying the meat grinder. So secondhand stores, you can find them, and that's where I got this one. So we got two different kinds of meat. Okay, so we're going to be grinding, I've got some beef tenderloin over here, so nice and tender, but good flavor, really meaty flavor. And then I've cut up some boneless short rib. So that has a nicer fat content, a little chewier, so it should give our burger some nice texture.
What's the ideal mixture?
You kind of want like 80% meat to 20% fat when you're doing it, okay? So I'll get you just to start firing these in here and then grind away, yeah. So as you're doing this, I'll get you to feed the grinder as well. Look at that, you're a natural at grinding beef. you might have a second career here once the basketball thing wears off, hey? All right, so while you're grinding that, I'll just gonna cut up a bunch of tomatoes here. And it doesn't have to, it can be totally random because we're just gonna fire them in a pan and kind of start cooking them down to make our tomato jam.
Sounds delicious, man.
Not too bad?
No.
How's your arm feeling?
Not bad. You have to switch it up, so.
Okay, straight into the pan. Oh. Nice hot pan there, that's just what we're looking for. So Eric, while you're grinding away there, tell me a little bit about being an Olympic basketball player. How does that work for you?
Oh, it was awesome, man. Kind of a dream come true, really.
Well, and you got one of the better Olympics too, didn't you? You went to the sunny land of Sydney.
Yeah, I went to Australia. It was beautiful, and just a great experience. And nothing like putting on the Canadian jersey to represent your country. I mean,
yeah,
you know how it is, right? Didn't you?
Well, I might have played a little hockey back in the day, but nothing to that caliber. I certainly wasn't, Olympics caliber, that's for sure.
I thought something about a World Cup or something.
Oh, that was soccer. That was a little different, you know?
Soccer.
The mini World Cup. Yeah, you had to get that one in there, didn't you?
You did.
Cheeky. I like it. Thank you. I don't like to brag about mine. Not like other guys wearing their jerseys on the show. I'm impressed it still fits, though. That's good.
So am I, actually. First time I put it on in some time.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Any good stories? Any that you can tell the audience?
You know what? It was an amazing experience, and we actually finished second best record in the tournament.
Oh, really?
Although, yeah, we were 5-2.
Okay. And where did that leave you? It wasn't medal worthy though, was it? Did you make it to the medal round?
We didn't make it to the medal rounds. We lost to France in quarterfinals by 6 or 5.
Okay.
So that was our medal hopes were vanished after that, but we had a great tournament.
Nice. Okay, I'm going to give these tomatoes a little stir here. we're really just trying to cook all this down. So we're going to add a little lemon juice to give it some moisture, and then I've got some brown sugar, some salt, and that's about all we're really going to add to this.
And how long do you cook that for?
Well, you want to cook it down until it almost becomes like ketchup. We're sort of making our own sort of ketchup, I guess, but in with the brown sugar. There we go. A nice little pinch of salt. Salt will help draw some of the moisture out as well, which will be great. And that's about all it takes to make this tomato jam. We'll leave it in there, kind of cook down for a while. Again, until we get almost to that ketchup consistency. So when we put it on our burger and we squish it down a little bit, it'll just start to ooze out the sides.
You get the goodness running down your
As soon as you have a bite and it's running down your arms, that's what you're looking for, beautiful. Right? Let's have a look at what we've got ground here already. It's looking good. So now we've got all our meat ground. Let's get this off here and out of our way. If I can get it undone now, there we go. Just tuck it underneath.
There we go.
I'm gonna put the rest of, maybe I'll get you to put the rest of that in the fridge, and there's some cheddar cheese in there.
Okay.
So do you mind grabbing that for us, and we'll get to mixing these burgers here? Because remember, we're gonna stuff these burgers with the cheddar, right? And by stuff, I mean actually incorporate the cheddar right into the mix.
Okay.
So you can dump that right in there.
Comme ça.
Perfect. Comme ça. Ooh, very français. I like it.
Oui.
We need some salt. And then we're going to do what I like to keep it pretty simple. Salt. We're going to do some Worcestershire sauce kind of stuff, some Tabasco, and then some fresh ground pepper. So go ahead. What's this here sauce?
Yeah. So how much salt should I put in?
Who knows? Just put some in, a couple pinches, make it taste good. Oh, come on. I thought you were going to bring your man card today. Like, what kind of pinches are those?
Well, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, let's give it a little more. We got a fair bit of ground beef in there.
All right.
So we'll give it a good pinch. A bunch of snaps of the old pepper mill there. You and I...
I like the heat. I do like the heat.
We've been known to challenge each other to a couple of heat competitions there with the hot sauce, hey?
Never ends well, though.
No, it never does. Yeah, and those people that can handle the heat kind of laughing at us a little bit. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to mix that all up. So let's just get our hands in there, yeah. Do you mind?
No.
While you're doing that, I'm going to look over here at the tomato jam. Hopefully we can get a shot of that. Can we see that on the camera number 14 over there? Can you see that? So we're going to let that cook for a little bit longer.
Now, how much you want to push this together, or?
Yeah, I want you to really work that, really really well. Get as much cheddar kind of squished in there as you can, so it's well incorporated. You can smell a little bit of the Tabasco,
yeah,
hey?
it smells good. Oh.
And then we're gonna pan fry these guys. What do you think about that? Yeah. I mean, we don't have a backyard here at the studio to
That's all right,
to head towards, so we're gonna just pan fry these guys, and we can go ahead and make some burger patties now. I think that looks great. So let's get in there with our hands. So we want to work it a little bit in our hands. We're kind of going to do the, kind of like, what is this?
Basketball.
Yeah, just like basketball, right?
Warm the hands up.
We could call this a slam dunk burger.
Oh, that's not
what
a bad
do you think?
idea.
I know, right?
I like it.
Put it on the menu. And then I'm just going to flatten it down a little bit, like that.
Mine seems to be breaking apart a little bit there.
Well, okay. Well, no. You got a slightly bigger burger than I do there, but bigger hands, I suppose, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's okay. You just work it a little bit more and squish it down just like that. Mine's broken a little bit in some places too, so that's okay. I'm going to take a little bit of this vegetable oil and pour it into a hot pan that I've got going on over here already. Okay. So I've preheated it a little bit. Now, the nice thing about the fact that we've cooked our burgers, or that we've ground our own meat and they're nice and chilled, everything's good, is that we'll be able to eat these sort of like in the medium range.
Oh, okay.
I don't like medium rare ground beef, but I will eat it medium. So we're going to do it that way. Nice and hot. And we're just going to throw our burger in there just like that.
How's that look?
Like a pro. Yeah. Go ahead.
You don't want to throw it in there, right?
No, definitely not.
Grease
and you did that perfectly. You kind of want to splash it away from you.
Right.
So if you do get any grease that splashes, it goes that way, right?
It's not my first rodeo, bud.
No, you're not an amateur at throwing the burgers in, are you? There we go.
And you season both sides?
Season both sides. Yep. We'll season the other side once we get going. Plus, we did add stuff into the middle, right?
Okay.
All right, Eric. We're at that point of the show where we got to go to a commercial break here, okay? So just hang tight. We'll be back later in the show with Eric to pull together our B-ball burger. But first, following the break, we're getting out of the studio. You'll want to stick around for that. So now for my favorite part of the job, just hanging out here with Rose Little at our Butus RV.
Gotta love
Rose.
it.
How are you?
I'm great, Garrett.
I don't know, this is pretty hard to beat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, especially with a glass of sangria in hand.
I know, beautiful day like this, sangria. We got the awning out here. The only trouble is, eventually we have to get up and cook lunch.
Oh, but that's not that big a deal.
No, not too bad. I mean, it's not really like work when we're out here enjoying it, are we?
No, and I've cooked with you a few times, so it's pretty easy.
I know, we're old hat at this, aren't we? What do you say we get started? I was thinking about doing a gourmet hot dog today.
Oh, sounds good.
All right, no, not all hot dogs have to be, you know, lips and other parts, right? As we sometimes try to convince our kids of.
Yeah.
We've actually got some fancy hot dogs here today, so I'm gonna cut open a pretzel bun. And then I'll get you to do the other two. Now be very careful, please, Rose. That knife, as you saw, is fairly sharp. Turn our attention over here to the grill. I've got some mushrooms and onions sauteing nicely in a pan here. And then we've got these gorgeous looking sausages here. Good. How are you for toasting buns? Do you do you like them toasted a little bit? So what I always do is just toast the inside, especially when you have nice fresh buns like these ones. I just toast the inside because that gives it a little more texture and it holds up to our sauces here. You can see we've got a little grainy mustard aioli. And all we're gonna do,
A little bit of cheese.
yeah, we've got some melted cheese. Or we're gonna put some cheese on there. You wanna do the honors?
You bet.
So just using the peeler, just peel some nice thin slices right on top of that.
Okay.
Alrighty, there you go. And I'll take this other one and put it back on the grill. And grab the other bun here for you. And while you're cheesing, I'm gonna sauce. Getting cheesy over there, hey? The show's getting cheesy.
I was just going to say, one thing I love about cooking with you, it's always gourmet and the RV.
That's right, yeah. Well, I mean, if we're going to be glamping in style, we may as well be eating in style, right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, what about power? I mean, I know you're a woman of lovely taste, and so you probably want to frost some milk and all that kind of stuff while you're out here.
Absolutely.
Is that something you know you would run off the? How does that work? How does that work when you're camping?
Well, glad you mentioned it, because we just I had my husband make sure that the guys down here installed a couple of solar panels on our unit for lakeside use.
Okay.
And with something that's called an inverter. So basically the solar panel gets the energy from the sun, charges the batteries, and basically I get to wake up in the morning, plug my frother in.
Nice.
Have my latte.
Make yourself a latte. All right. Mushrooms and onions are gonna go on there. Can you smell that?
Oh, that smells beautiful.
Something about caramelized onions that you know, it just makes my mouth start to water.
Yeah, and with mushrooms.
These are going to be really hot. We use a smoked boar and cuss. It's actually local from here on the island, but it just adds that little hint of smokiness from the grill, right? Because our wurst here isn't like your typical smoky. It's more like like I said, a pork sausage. So
you know what boar and cuss is?
Tell me.
It's a Dutch word for farmer's cheese.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I learned something new today with Rose. That's fantastic. Okay. Should we venture into a bite here on camera?
All right. This might be messy, but
I'm gonna say my goodbyes because I got to get back to the kitchen. But I'll do that to those guys. We'll see you soon back in the kitchen. Rose and I are gonna finish up these hot dogs here. All right. Oh, so good. And that fancy aioli, delicious. It's back to our kitchen. We're working with Olympian Eric Hinrichsen on my version of his favorite dish, the B-ball burger. It's fresh ground beef stuffed with aged cheddar, served on a pretzel bun with wilted onions, tomato jam, and spicy arugula. Well, Eric, what do you think?
Oh, the smells here are beautiful.
It does smell good,
oh,
eh?
It smells amazing.
So we had a chance during the break there to clean up, wash our hands. I just need to make sure that the viewers out there know how important it is when you're working with the ground beef and raw ground beef like that you wash your hands thoroughly, keep everything nice and cool, and then away we go. So there's no issue of food safe or no food safe issues, okay?
After that, yeah.
So, what do you say we give those burgers a flip? You can kind of see by looking at them. Can you see it over there?
Yeah, you get a little crust on there.
Already got that nice brown crust,
yeah.
Right? Get under there with a spatula, give it a good flip.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, look at that. And we'll do the next one here. Okay. We'll let those sizzle away for a little bit longer. We want to form a bit of a crust on the other side, but not cook them too far, okay?
Do you season them or anything after flipping them? Or?
Jeez, you're on me, hey? Sure. Well, why don't you do that? Salt and pepper on those bad boys.
All right.
Meanwhile, look over here. Tomato jam. Doesn't that look good? See how it's almost all the water is kind of cooked away there, and it's starting to look like kind of like a chunky ketchup at this point, right?
Yeah.
We want to do some quick wilted onions. To me, tomatoes, onions, kind of lettuce. Those are all the quintessentials on a burger, right?
Watch your fingers, bud.
Oh, come on. I'm a trained professional. Did anybody tell you to watch your layups back in the day? Huh?
True story.
What was your forte on the court? Were you a three-pointer,
No,
three-point
I was not
shooter?
a shooter. I was more of a rebounder.
More of a rebounder?
Yeah, I played defense. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How were you on the free throw line?
Good-
Dare I ask?
Good days and bad days. I think I was better than Shaq, so.
Which isn't hard to do.
No, wow.
I think our kids are better than Shaq.
Yeah.
We should probably let the audience know. Eric and I, dad buds. Should we lay out the dad bods part? I don't know.
Yeah, sure,
Dad buds with dad bods?
Yeah, there you go.
Our boys have been best friends since they were 18 months old or something like that. Yeah, so it's been a long time.
So it has been a long time.
All right, I just threw them right into a dry pan, and what I want to do, because we got some extra beef flavor over here, I'm going to take a spoonful of this and just throw that over our onions. And that's just going to help us give a little bit of extra flavor and get those onions sort of sauteing.
We're going to Flavor Town.
Yeah, you bet we are. No messing around. Give that a quick toss here. Do you do this at home when you're cooking things?
No, I can't. I don't have that technique. Can't get the flip.
Yeah, just takes practice.
Yeah, there you go.
Some salt. Always season everything, right? A little pepper. In the meantime, Eric, what do you say we try our tomatoes here?
Yeah, let's do that.
Spoon for you, sir. One for me.
Can't believe it took you that long to offer. To be honest with you.
No kidding, hey? You in there for a bite?
Oh,
Not bad,
good,
hey?
yeah, really good. Pretty sweet.
That's what we're going for. A bit of that sweetness. So it's going to work really well with the pretzel bun and the beef, I think, too, and the aged cheddar. Okay, so should we get a plate out here?
Yeah, let's get her going here.
Yeah. Eric, so, I mean, Olympic basketball, what happened after that? Like, how did that all work out for you?
Oh, it was great. You know, I went to play professionally over in Europe for 5 years.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I was in Belgium for 3 years. I was in France for a year, and I was in Holland for a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How was that? That must have been a great experience, hey?
It was awesome, yeah. Just a great experience.
And
yeah.
national university champion as well? You played on the
Yeah,
champion
we won
team?
in, last time actually the University of Victoria won the championship was in '97.
And you were on the squad?
And we were on the squad.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was...
I'm sure some fond memories, hey?
Oh man, you wouldn't change it for the
Stuff
world.
that
It's
you
just
can't-
great, yeah. You know,
Good
still-
stories for the kids and stuff, too.
Some, yes.
Not all that you'd share.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we got our pretzel buns here.
I think the bun is what makes the burger, really.
Yeah, I
You
agree.
know?
Some people like them toasted. I personally am just going to go straight up fresh, especially when they're nice like this. Like these ones here are, fresh as they can kind of get.
Little interesting fact, did you know that Americans consume 13 billion burgers a year?
You and your stats, hey?
Hey, I like my stats.
Yeah, you do. 13 billion's a lot of burgers,
Oh,
though.
man.
Imagine how many cows that would be.
Wow, can't even think about that.
No, it's terrible to even think about. Onions. Well, let's see. Let's put the arugula on next. So we got the spicy arugula. It's going to give this really nice peppery note. Lay these down here on the bottom.
You just throw it on, eh?
Oh, yeah, no messing around. Let's head for our burgers here. We'll grab yours first, Eric.
Oh, man.
There we go. Look at that. You can see the cheese in there nicely, the crust on it. There's mine. Nice, and you can see the juice coming out of it. Mind if I put the onions on yours?
No, go ahead, yeah.
Here we go.
Thank you very much.
You get to do the honors of the tomato ketchup there. All right. I'll hold it. You scoop.
How much you want on there, buds?
Oh, it's starting to stick to the bottom there, too. We had good timing.
This on here.
Oh, there you go. I see you didn't mayo the top, hey? You trying to wash your girlish figure? Or
I'll
what?
try to, right?
Yeah.
I don't want this jersey not to fit anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you're doing all right if it's still going after 20 years, right? Oh, look at that. And now we just close them up, pal.
Close them up.
Give them a little squeeze. There's the tomatoes kind of coming out. You can see. Oh, you got that camera 14 over there? Give it a little squeeze. You can see the
That's
tomatoes coming out.
When you see the juice coming out.
Oh, yeah. Should we cut it in half?
Yeah, do it.
And there we have it.
Oh, wow, look
The
at that.
B-ball burger.
Yeah,
Hey?
looks delicious.
Should we give it a taste?
I think so, yeah.
Well,
Why
I'm
wouldn't we?
going to eat. I'm going to eat half of yours
Oh,
here.
yeah. Oh, look at that.
So juicy. Probably could have cooked those even a little bit less, and they might be even more juicy. But
That's delicious. Nice with the jam.
yeah, the flavors all really come together nicely there, don't they?
Yeah, that's
A
beautiful.
little bit of that pepper from the arugula, and then the sweetness of the tomatoes and the onions. Oh,
Wow.
more cheddar next time, bud. More cheddar. I think that's the only thing that can make this better.
I don't think so. I think it's almost perfect.
And what do you think?
Oh,
Your
great,
dish,
yeah.
my way.
think you did a good job.
Yeah?
You killed it, bud.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
Eric, for being here. This is
really
great.
good,
Let's
yeah.
dig in. Now, what better way to wash down a delicious burger than with an amazing beer? With me today is Gary Lindsay from Driftwood Brewing. How are you, Gary?
Good
to see you, buddy. Thanks for
Always
being
a
on the
pleasure.
show.
Thank you for having me.
You've been a proud supporter of Cookin on the Coast for so long. I'm just ecstatic to have you here again today.
Well, you said magic word. You said burger, I say beer.
Hey, hand in hand, right?
Honestly.
The double B threat right there.
Absolutely. Couldn't ask for a better pairing. Today I brought you Arcus Pilsner.
Nice.
It's a North German style Pilsner. So, you know, I think Pilsner gets a little bit of a bad rap with some of the North American interpretations throughout the years. And I think
Those that we shall not be named.
Well, yeah, and the true Pilsners are delightful. They're simple ingredients. They're basically two ingredients. They're hops and malt, and one type of each, typically. So this beer really shines. It's got brilliant sort of malt notes to it, Canadian malt, and Tettnanger hops, which are typical of sort of North German Pilsners.
Nice.
Beautiful beer. And
easy drinking?
Well, easy drinking, but it's got some flavor profile to it. So really something you're going to find is going to go well with the beef, I think. It's going to cut into that fat a little bit.
Perfect.
And the richness and sort of lighten up the palate.
Well, these are pan-seared and they've got cheddar right in them. So there's going to be a hint of a cholesterol thing going on here.
Yeah, I like this.
How about I cut this bad boy in half
All
so we
right.
can dig in there. So we fresh ground this with a hand grinder. Go ahead, grab yourself a...
Yeah, I would have a taste of the beer first, sort of wake up the palate a little bit, get the gastric juices
You're
flowing.
old hat at this, hey? You know.
Come on.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Did I get a beer mustache? That's what I was going for.
You need a mustache here, so.
I need something to hold it there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's true. All right, let's give this burger a try. Dig in. Is there anything better than the double B threat that we got going on here?
I think the real key is that you got to have one of these going when you're grilling the burger.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's very true. And then all of a sudden, everything tastes good.
It all makes sense. It all comes together at that perfect moment.
And Pilsner's like that perfect summer, nice warm weather
Agreed.
beer.
And Pilsners can be flavorful. It can be delicious.
Should we show off our badges there? Driftwood Brewing. Check out our website. You'll find more information on today's show and maybe a few surprises. I'm Garrett Schack. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to savor the flavor. Let's grab another bite.
Cheers.
There, Gary.
Thanks, Garrett.